Welcome to the Women in Tech podcast series, brought to you by Wisconsin Tech Month. This series is all about shining a light on the women who are driving change and breaking barriers in tech. Each episode is about celebrating their journeys, successes, and the impact they're making in our industry. Let's hear their stories.
Loaded question. I'm going to say, honest answer is I didn't get started. I got pushed into it by my father. I'm a first generation immigrant. And when we came to US, I studied to be a piano performer. And my dad quickly realized that that's not a profession, I'm going to say, to make money, which why we immigrated to this country. So computers were on the rise, and he said that I should do something with computers. So that's how I started with technology. Again, there's so many changes in the last 30 years. I remember when I started, again, I was the only girl in my computer science classes. Even in college, in more of the higher level, I was also sometimes one, if not one of two women in my computer science classes. There were more in engineering curriculum, but definitely in computer science, I was sometimes a single person a single woman or female in a classroom. So the experience was back then I hung out with a lot of guys, and I thought I was just like one of them, like whatever the topics were, I had to participate, and we had to discuss sometimes other females. And so I feel very comfortable being in that space. The challenges, again, like 30 years is a long time. So I'm trying to think, the challenges are actually challenges, they're more surprises. With my experience being the only female and hanging out with other guys, I always felt comfortable. And sometimes when I actually did get treated as a female in a different situations, it was a surprise. It was like, oh, you actually think that I don't have a brain, or you actually think I had blonde hair for a while. So I'm like, you're treating me like I'm a blonde. All the stereotypes were there. So sometimes when these surprises with the comments that I would get, again, much earlier in the days, it had the diversity and the culture that we have now is completely changed. So, but that was the experience, is the surprises sometimes that there are those stereotypes that maybe girls shouldn't be in computers, or if you're in computers, you're automatically a nerd, or what were some other ones? You should be behaving a certain way, or you should be knowing certain things just because you're in computers. Even sometimes today, you go out, computers are everywhere now. Our technology is so much more advanced, but it's still people, they think you're in computers, then you should know certain things. You should know why the remote doesn't work. I'm like, I don't know. So they're not necessarily challenges, but they're gotcha. Like, oh, you think I know everything about technology? No, not really. Watching it grow, the realization, it's kind of like it's been developing so fast. To me, it's the fascination of what we don't know yet. It's kind of like on this verge of, what is it gonna get us to next? Are we gonna become robots? Are we gonna start thinking like robots? What is it gonna do with my brain? And it's like, what is that limit? It's kind of like, it's moving so fast that you're constantly thinking, how far behind am I? in knowing what's out there and what the next thing is, and what the next thing is. And so I think that's really exciting. The whole AI space, I'm loving it, and I'm really excited. And although I do not want the robots to take over, I do love them. So I am like looking forward to more assistance in my older day by a robot. Like I can hire a robot, and we see this now, and again in technology with automation, and the vacuums now can do things on their own. So why not have an assistant that can help me cook and do other things? So that's what makes me excited about technology. This the discovery of what's next. To my kids, it's probably going to be a normal thing because, again, they grew up with cell phones. They're now are entering the AI space. For me, I'm seeing the evolution, and it's a rapid evolution. And it's just like, oh my God, we're moving so fast. So what are we going to discover next? What is it going to be? Are we going to be able to fly to the stars in the lightning speed? Are we actually going to go visit someone? So that is actually exciting. Entering is a great opportunity. My advice would be, if you're entering, pick something that is not just safe and stable, but gives you ability to grow. The technology that maybe is a little more risky to invest in, but has a great opportunity for you to be that next person, that next expert, right? Because again, we are moving so much slower. So as we have these products available, those are all established products. And a lot of times people want to do that as opposed to looking at some new technologies and saying, I actually want to do something that's a little more risky. Maybe it's not as desirable, or people are not looking for the skills, but I think that's where we're going to be headed towards. And I want to be on the cutting edge of knowing how it works, or a bleeding edge of knowing how it works. So I'm going to be an expert, and then continue doing that. It's like once you're an expert, move on. You got to do something else, because whatever it is you're an expert in, you're going to be outdated in pretty much 5 years with the technology moving fast. So that's what I would recommend to all the newcomers. How can people reach me? That's a trick question. I am on LinkedIn. Send me an invite. I do attend a lot of the events happening in Milwaukee. I am part of the Tech United Milwaukee communities that sponsors a lot of technology events around Milwaukee. So that's a great way to meet up with me.
And that's it for today's episode of the Women in Tech series. A big thank you to our guest for sharing her story and inspiring us all. Make sure you check out all of the amazing things that are happening during Wisconsin Tech Month. There is so much to discover, from workshops to panels to networking events. Stay connected with our incredible community of tech leaders and innovators throughout the month of October. Thanks for listening.